Hey everybody, happy Thursday, happy first day of October. It kind of snuck up on me. I don't know about you. I'm still, it takes me a little while to adjust apparently. I'm still in summer mode, wearing flip-flops and really wanting to wear shorts and rudely awaken when I get out the door and I'm cold. And I don't like the cold and I don't like when the sun goes away. So this is kind of snuck up on me. As did a Facebook memory that was shared. You know how Facebook puts up like a memory from a year ago, 2 years ago. Sometimes it goes pretty far back. Actually, it doesn't usually go back more than a few years, I don't think. But anyways, a Facebook memory was shared with me today, and it was a picture of me in front of the courthouse with my big giant bag, one of like a bag and a big giant tote that I had accumulated over 2 years of a really hellish battle, a divorce battle. Everything went to trial, custody, trying to take the kids away, pretty much trying to bury me financially. I'm not going to get too much into it, but it was kind of shocking to see that picture today. And it's very interesting because the message that I've been trying the channel message that I got that I've been trying to release and do, and every day I'm being like steered a different way, was on the past is practice. I don't know if you can see that. It was about just past mistakes and lessons and what we can learn from that and what the divine may want us to contemplate today as we try to cultivate more Zen in our day and more peace and harmony. And now I'm thinking that was no coincidence why I was supposed to wait, because I hadn't planned on it, but I think I can relay some of my personal experience into this lesson here for us today. I'm not standing on a soapbox. I'm pretty open with my story. I wear my heart on my sleeve, especially since I've seen how me doing so has helped someone else. If it can just reach one person, I'm a happy camper. Because I prayed early on that when I was going through all my struggles, I'm still going through new struggles now as I'm in this new season of change, of recognizing my gifts and my abilities. I'm scared in a new way now. But it does help to look back on that time. I look at that girl in that picture that I got today, and I wanted to cry for her. Like, it was just remembering how hard that season was, and I was so uncertain and so scared. So scared, but I was protected all along, and all I could think about was like little did I know, did anyone know, that the plan might have been to bury me, because I'm not kidding, it was literally that. That is the truth of the matter. Little did they know, and little did I know, that a seed was being planted in me and in my life. And now I'm farther along, and it's like I'm in a new stage of scared, of like I've got all this new knowledge now and insight of like what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm now scared of like, where the hell is this all gonna go? Where are you taking me, God? Just like I felt back then. And my sister reminded me of like how far I've come, and I just really thought about that for a minute, and I was like, wow, if you can take where you are now, if you're uncertain and scared, and if you can think back 2 years ago, a year ago, 6 months ago, I don't know, 5 years ago, to a time where you might have also felt uncertain, and to know that you did make it through, you did grow, you did change, like something came of it. Your needs and wants were taken care of, you were supported, and it might have propelled you into new growth, new season. The sweater is just frustrating me, as is my hair. Holy man, I went to bed with wet hair last night, and it's just really wild and free. But honestly, I'm feeling a little bit like that today, so I'm going to take that too as a part of this process here. I'm knocking this thing over. The person that told me that irritates me is gonna really be triggered now. That is awesome. Okay, well, I'm just past this practice. Okay, here's I'm really flaily. I'm Italian. I can't help it. I got wild hair today. I'm free. You know, and that picture was like, that was the day I really felt like I became free. Even though I had been separated from my ex for a long time, I technically was free. It was like, oh, that closure that I needed, that paperwork, that like, you know, and plus I was waiting on the judge's decision. Everything went to trial. So it was like a big day of like, oh my God, my fate in someone else's hands, basically. How scary. So So that was a very freeing day, even though it was like dark and heavy and not what I had hoped for and not where I wanted to be in my life. It still was the moment that like everything shifted into a new direction, and I did feel really free and wild and free. Sorry, this is a really weird reading today. Okay, so that was the theme that I had been wanting to get out all week, actually, and every day, like a different channel message kind of came. I just kind of had an overwhelm of like, no, I'm not supposed to talk about that today. It's got to be this. And now that I see why, like, I really do believe I have to wear tank tops under all my shirts because I'm such a chilly willy. I get Raynaud's syndrome in the cold, so like, it just keeps slipping. So sorry about that. I really do believe like maybe today's the date that I needed to talk about it. Today's the day I was told, and I can use my personal experience on this. I hadn't planned on talking about any of my past in this, but other than little minor, examples, because I don't mind sharing. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and especially since I prayed early on that my hell would be used for good. If I'm going to go through hell, please at least use it for good, for my own good and for other people's good. And he did. Be careful what you wish for. I have met so many people who've gone through some of the things that needed to get clarity, understanding, comfort, in dealing with something similar to what I was dealing with. Mine ended up being kind of extreme, but it's still a lot of the same principles applied, because people, when they are toxic people who are always operating out of pain and fear, they kind of do the same things, right? Let's be real. And I talked a lot about that yesterday. Sorry about that heavy message. I really felt sick to my stomach after, because I just feel like so many people are just living their life out of their pain. And some people choose to become small and have low self-esteem and deplete themselves, and other people use their pain to get power and control, manipulation. It's just that way. And the more and more the more and more you exist in either one of those, you get closer and closer to the dark and further from the light. So that was kind of what I was sick to my stomach over there yesterday. Like, I know people in really the controlling, manipulative, toxic ways do stop at nothing to, it's like they want somebody to pay for their pain that they're feeling way deep down, like they have not healed over something, an event in their life they just haven't moved forward on, and somebody needs to pay for it. And oftentimes it's pretty much anyone that crosses their path that knows them in an intimate way or level or personal level, and it's in a close relationship, work, friendship, business, romantic relationship. So I like to do the past, present, and future. So in the past, we may have been struggling with choices that we've made in the past, situations we've gotten ourselves into, relationships we've been in, and really having a tough time with shame or guilt from that. So the thing that we may have been struggling in the past is, what can I burn? Burn it all. The ugly lies, the pain, the shame, the criticism, the images that run through your head, the reminders of what you did wrong, and the proof that you are not enough. Burn, baby, burn. Your soul is calling. It's time for a rebirth. You are like the phoenix rising from the ashes, no longer attached to the past. You are free. Your wings are ready. Use them. Today's soul action that we can be called to be taken today. Make the choice that you will no longer let the past define you. Pick up your pen. What will your next chapter look like? And it's funny with that phoenix. The phoenix, I just watched the movie Mulan. I talked about that. I just love that movie. The new one that Disney released, the non-animated version. And the phoenix exhibits itself as like an ancestral spirit guide for Mulan in that movie. And at the end, it also kind of represents like her rising up out of her own self-imposed ashes, and the ashes of like what everybody around her told her about herself. She rose up out of that. And in this situation, like the phoenix is kind of a magical creature that kind of looks like a dragon and like a bird. It's a kind of a combination of that, but the phoenix apparently can rise from the ashes. And it's interesting because I actually want to get a tattoo of that. So, and now that it's the anniversary of my divorce, like that event in my life, I'm thinking that was a sign I need to do it. And I want to kind of get it on my shoulder. I don't know. It's time for a rebirth. You are like the phoenix rising from the ashes, no longer attached to the past. You are free. Your wings are ready to use them. Honestly, at any point, we can break free from our situation, our past, our limiting beliefs, what people are telling us about us, our own mistakes. Gosh, there's so many things in my life that I regret. that I didn't act in integrity or acted from pain and not love, that I regret. And that too, you know, you can only make decisions based on what you know at the time, right? And not that I want to say that you should give yourself a free pass for any mistakes that you've made, but you made them, and as long as you've learned from them, it's time to move forward and obviously make amends and say your sorries and do what you need to do to try to make things right. That is a really important piece of the puzzle when you're trying to forgive yourself or heal over something that you've done. You can't forget that part. You're not going to really have peace if you don't really actually take the steps necessary to heal that wound with that person. But the really deeper issue is the wound in yourself and how you violated your own self by what you did, or the relationship that you got into, or the job that you took that you knew that was maybe going to drain you or leave you depleted, or allowing yourself to get sucked into drama when that's not really who you are, like hitching your trailer to people that you didn't really carefully analyze to see if that was really a right situation. You may have jumped in too soon or attached because of pain to that situation or pain or person. And like I said, you just don't know what you don't know. And then you can do better when you know better, right? And so that's, I think, the message today, to not to hang on to that pain of your mistakes. So today we're being asked to also take a look at taking ownership, acknowledging your misdeeds and accomplishments alike, and learn to love them all as lessons. That's really an important piece of healing, is when you get a real hard look at yourself and you stop blaming the other person so much and sit in that victim seat, and you can just really look at things like, whoa, I got into that relationship. I must have been in a certain state of mind to not see that, or I must have not have been at a good enough place in my life to think I deserve better, or I must have really believed I wasn't worth it, or I must have believed that those inner knowings that I had weren't important, or I must have believed certain things that I needed to do to sacrifice myself for someone else, or that this is the only way that I could show love, or I don't know, get love or receive love, or I don't know, whatever that is for you. But just when you can move into more of a conscious awareness that it's really, when you have all these, you know, conflicts, and like I'm in a situation, I can give you a bazillion examples of times I've regretted, you know, my mistakes and things like that. And the thing that's most on my mind right now is I have a very close person to me that is very reactive to their pain a lot, and they make a lot of decisions out of their pain, and it's getting pretty toxic. And I can I've been getting really convicted lately. Like, I've been just so upset about this person. And then I'm realizing, oh my gosh, like, I've allowed this for so long, like, to go on. And I was acting out of trying to protect and control and, like, keep the person safe from their own self. But yet I allowed myself to get violated and my boundaries to get broken over and over again out of trying to help someone or to fix the situation. And I'm, like, very aware that, whoa, I need to take ownership of the fact that I allowed that. I allowed it to get to this point where now it's, like, out of control, and now I'm creating boundaries. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. Creating boundaries with people who are used to you doing everything, or used to you being able to be backed into a corner, or kept small, or kept quiet, or shushed when you have an idea, or whatever it is. When you create boundaries, they push back. They push back. And so, like, be prepared for that. But that is an important step of healing, of recognizing that it's not everyone else's fault, it's yours. I talked a little bit about that yesterday. You are a grown-ass adult. Stop blaming others for your shit. Sorry about the swear words. Sorry, not sorry. I swear now. That's the truth of the matter. Any situation that you're in, and you are the only one that can change it. People, you can't ask people to change who they are, right? I always welcome you to grab a cup of coffee and a drink and settle in when I do these readings, because who knows how long it's going to go. 14 minutes already. Yikes. How can I do the app so long? I don't know where I was going with that. But when you get clear, like, holy crap, that's my fault too. That's my fault too. It's not your fault what they're doing, but it's your fault for allowing it, or not creating good boundaries, or, and like I said, like, people, that like to have that kind of, you know, control and power, they usually depending on how level of like deep in their pain they're and operating out of that, usually they're kind of lazy and they go find someone else to target, and it kind of blows over once you create boundaries. But sometimes not. Sometimes it's really heavy and it's like, holy cow, this was going on for so long. How did it get this bad? How did my life get so chaotic? How did my things get so out of whack that now it's like, holy crap, you know. And it's a really good thing to just remember not to feel guilt or shame over that. That can be a process of letting go of the guilt and shame over things. But when you do get clear on that, it's really healing for yourself. And that's when you can get back into your power, because you can act off of those more conscious, aware decisions and thoughts, because you can take action then. There's a song that I channeled for this, and it was the Torrin Wells song, Hills and Valleys. I don't want to sing it, but I feel like I should. Like, just, okay, the song goes, I've walked among the shadows, you've wiped away my tears, and I've felt the pain of heartbreak, and I've seen the brighter days, and I've prayed prayers to heaven from my lowest place, and I have held your blessings, God, you give and take away. No matter what I have, your grace is enough. No matter where I am, I'm standing in your love. On the mountains I will bow my life to the one who set me there. In the valley I will lift my eyes to the one who sees me there. When I'm standing on the mountain, I didn't get there on my own. When I'm walking through the valley, I know I am not alone. You're the God of the hills and valleys. The hills and valleys, hills and valleys, and I am not alone. And then this next part goes, I've watched my dreams get broken. In you, I hope again. No matter what I know, I'm safe inside your hands. I'm sorry, I should have just talked those lyrics. That was just a botch job. Oh my gosh, okay. Anyways, I walked among the shadows, you wiped away my tears. I felt the pain of heartbreak, and I've seen the brighter days. I've prayed prayers to heaven from my lowest place, and I've held your blessings. God, you give and take away. No matter what I have, your grace is enough. No matter where I am, I'm standing in your love. On the mountains, I will bow my life to the one who sent me there. In the valley, I will lift my eyes to the one who sees me there. When I'm standing on the mountain, I didn't get there on my own. When I'm walking through the valley, I know I'm not alone. You're the God of the hills and valleys. I've watched my dreams get broken. In you, I hope again. No matter what I know, I'm safe inside your hands. Okay, so going forward, I will not be singing it. I will just give you the link and you can listen to it. I'll say the lyrics though. Okay, but I'm not going to scratch this whole video because of it. So I botched that up, but we're going to just roll with it and move forward anyways. That's how I do things. Okay, oh wow, that was a shit show, but I'm going to keep moving anyways. That's really kind of indicative of this whole message. Like, look back, see where you caused chaos, where you allowed chaos, where you made mistakes, but also, I mean, there was really good things that happened along the way too. They say the mountains, the hills and valleys. On the mountains, you can be thankful when you get to the top of the mountain of a goal or achievement or got through something really painful. And then in the valleys too, you can know you're not alone. And this too will pass, and it will help you. When you're in a valley, you can only keep going back up, right? I kind of sometimes keep imagining myself like going up each notch on this pole, like climbing to the top of this pole like Mulan does in like that movie. She's the only warrior that can do it. But okay. So that whole example there with the botch job of the singing, okay, botch that totally up, but instead of scrapping everything and like wallowing in that and just scratching this whole video and be like, oh my God, I'm so terrible. Some would. I'm not going to. I'm going to be like, all right, well, that was a shit show. Moving on. What did I learn from that? Now I'm going to learn my lesson that going forward, I'm just going to say the lyrics for all you guys, put you out of your misery. And that's how we need to look at everything. Okay, I'm really making light of pain and mistakes, but like sometimes you just need to look back, holy cow, that was crazy, laugh about it, move forward, learn your lessons. I mean, it's not, no mistake you make is really ever wasted if you learn something from it, right? If you sit and wallow and keep giving energy to that pain, that mistake that you made, I'm saying, yes, you also need to reconcile with people and say sorry and try to make it right. But when you've done all you can to make something right and it's still never going to be okay because you said that, that person did that, it's not going to really make it okay. But when you've done all you can as a human being to make something right and say your apologies, and it's still eating away at you, or that person is still reminding you and cycling you through that pain, it's really time to let go. And know that no matter what I have, God's grace is enough. Universe's grace, Spirit's grace, forgiveness, that's enough. That's enough. Now you need to be authentically sorry. I really do believe that. Some people say sorry and they're not sorry. There's a difference between actually feeling sorrow and sorry for something that you've done and really being aware of the choices that you made and where you went wrong, and then just giving lip service. Because a real sorry is change behavior. You know, like, wow, I did that. I said that to a person. I really don't like that I said that. I don't really like that I did that. I didn't act out of integrity. That's who I am. And it changes you to not do that again. That's a real sorry. And you and God know the truth. Your soul knows. So what we're being asked then, that was past. Currently, we're being asked to really wake up and see that these are our choices. And in the future now, we can go and surrender. I'm not kidding. This card like literally flipped out. I was asking, what can we surrender today? I wasn't really gearing this towards relationships, but I guess with my picture from Facebook that I got and everything, surrender unhealthy relationships. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. Wow. Okay, so healthy choices. Thank you, angels, for guiding me to make healthy choices. That also came out when I was asking for guidance there. I love this Work Your Light deck. These cards are really kind of stuck today too, like the energy. So it's really time to let go of something, and it may just be the shame and guilt of getting yourself into a tricky situation, or staying too long, or not valuing yourself, or not believing you deserved or something. But again, you make decisions based on where you are at that moment. So it's really hard to say, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, when you didn't know any better. Now you know better. Now you know better, you can do better. Maybe I need to shuffle. Get some air through here. And it's not my energy today that's heavy. Like I said, I'm kind of feeling wild and free. It's just a heavy, I pick up on energies now from just around. Like, I feel like a lot of people are maybe energetically kind of on the same page, struggling with the same things, and that's why these messages are really helpful. I don't know if that relates. Let's see. It'll come up. There's a card there. I don't know if it really relates. It'll come up again if it's meant to be taken. But I hope that message was helpful. Way too many cards. Still learning how to do all this, guys. These oracle cards are basically just tapping into 5D realm and asking Spirit to help you with any guidance that you need, and letting the energy from what already your 5D self already knows, letting that guide the cards and the energy. It's nothing magical about, they're just cards. It's your, normally is one is supposed to put, oh. Interesting, a couple things came out. I'll take it. The Age of Light. Okay, let's go in this order. Trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? These cards a little bit look like, what's that show, that little kind of creepy show, that esoteric show that the kids are all watching? My daughter watches it. Trust the niggle. What's the niggling feeling trying to tell you? There's something going on in there. You're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. Keep facing your true north. Your true north is letting go, getting back into peace, surrender, joy, and letting go of things that you've done. Keep going. You're not headed back that way. You're headed this way. Don't look back. The Age of Light. You've been training for lifetimes. So know you're being supported, and you're moving in a new direction, and you're making healthy choices, and there's things that you maybe need to let go of and forgive your own self for, but also getting really clear on, okay, you know, everything that's happened to you is preparing you for the next season. And that's what I really felt when I saw that picture of me today. Like, wow, that person, the plan was to bury me. Little did anybody know, even my own self, that a seed was planted that day. And here I am now, and I'm scared now of the seeds that are being planted right now. But it helps to know when you look back, like, I only knew what I knew at that time with limited information. And I honestly couldn't have, you can't be handed something, a gift that you're not really ready to tend and care for. It'll just be lost too soon. You know, you can only handle what you can handle at that time. And I remember kind of like when I realized like, holy crap, I got myself into quite the mess. Like, and just praying for help to get out of it. It was like, I was told like, I was, you know, got the inner knowing, like, you got yourself into quite a mess. It's going to take us a little while to get out of it. You picked somebody that we didn't want for you. It wasn't supposed to be part of your plan. And I had an inner knowing, like something wasn't right. I didn't know what it was. And I thought, well, I disregarded my intuition, my inner knowing, and kept going and made decisions based on what I think I wanted and needed. They weren't the right ones, and it caused quite a little bit of chaos and quite a little bit of shit show in my life. And it's honestly impacted me for the rest of my life, the way I have to now do parenting. Nothing but a lot of drama there still. The kids, the pain for the kids. You know, it creates quite a shit show sometimes, depending on the gravity of your choices. And who you hitch your trailer to, who you marry, is one of the biggest decisions you can make in your entire life. Love who you choose to love and attach your money and your finances and your mental health and your social status and everything to. Wow. Big deal. Most of us don't take that really very seriously. It's not that we don't take it seriously, but most of us don't really think about it that way, right? We just, oh my God, we fall in love. We have all this chemistry. Great. Love isn't enough. Chemistry is not enough. You really need to be thinking about like who you're in alignment with, and you need to know yourself and what you want and where you're headed and what you need and what you're being called to do in order to make those decisions. And sometimes you don't even know your own self. You don't know who you really are. So you make decisions based on who you are at the time, who may not be who you're really meant to be. You may be operating still out of pain and fear and codependency issues, right? And that's how you make decisions. And then most of us aren't really aware that we have some healing to do, or we have shit to get cleared until we're in it and we're like, whoa, why is this not working? Why is this relationship so dysfunctional? Why is there so much chaos in my life? Like, and then you go within and like things happen. Sometimes things need to be totally taken away. And some people are so stubborn and are so prideful or so stuck in holding on that they need all these towers to fall. And in order to see, like, okay, you need to kind of sometimes be standing all on your own in order to see who you really are, see your strength, see where you're supposed to go. And sometimes mistakes need to be made. And sometimes you pray for help and but you don't take the answers that you're given, and you keep going out of pride and ego. And then the universe lets those towers fall. Lets your marriage fail. You get fired from a job. Lets your bank account get drained. Like, let that person, like, if you're ignoring, like, oh, something's really going on, wacky in my finances, like, that person may be doing something wacky, and if you're not addressing it, it can get to the point where that person tries to bury you, or I don't know, I don't want to give too many examples, but you know what I'm saying. Like, sometimes you don't heed the calls and then the towers fall. And that is usually what happens. The crushing, my sister just sent me something about the crushing. I can post it, but like the soaring can't happen until you go through the crushing. And not to say that I'm soaring, that's my goal though. I mean, but being free can't happen until you kind of go through some things, so you can see what you're not, and where you're not supposed to be, and who you're not supposed to be hitching your trailer to, and things like that. I don't know, I think that's all on that, but look up that song so you can hear the beautiful version of that. I really don't want you to discount that song. It's a really, really good song. Ooh, this is the card I just opened up the book, The Crumbling. There is a shift. What are you clinging on to? There is a shift happening right now where anything inauthentic can no longer survive. Relationships, jobs, social structures, anything built on shaky ground is destined to tumble down. See what I'm saying? It's happening to bring you back to home, to who you truly are, both individually and to society as a whole, so that you can live a life that is in alignment with who you truly are. When you're in the thick of it, it can feel like a personal attack from the universe. Have faith, because the difficult times will be your defining moments. You will be reborn in the fire. You're being called to surrender, to stop trying to hold it all together, to loosen your grip, to let the crumbling occur. It may be difficult at first, but in the end, the sooner you let go, the sooner the rebirthing will occur. What are you trying to hold together? What are you doing your best to avoid? How are you trying to pretend everything is okay? You have what it takes to allow what is falling away to tumble and fall. Wow.